Hello students, in our previous session we have discussed this what is the visual merchandising, what is the scope and what is the purpose of visual merchandising. In this section we would like to discuss what are the different factors or the key elements which are responsible for creating a better experience which ultimately going to achieve the business objectives of visual merchandising. So our mission is to help create profitable, exciting, dynamic retail environment that as a business model going to increase the revenues. All the activities within the retail environment to take place to generate sales, sales per meter, and more importantly profit, four-wall profits. And by questioning the actions taken on behalf of the shop floor, we have to look at this: what will be the distractions, what are the ways and means by which we can improve the return on investments, what will be the customer use, where they will go in the store once they enter, what they will see ultimately, what they pick up, and how do they purchase. We can then access actually where we need to improve by focusing on 6 key areas, and these 6 key areas are store environment, what kind of the store environment we are going to create, what should be the display into the window, how this window dressing has been done, what are the different practice tactics and tools, pops, color, lighting, combinations, components designed for creating an impact, and that is visual merchandising, and what kind of this story into the window that has been crafted or created, and that is given this theater kind of look or feeling or experience to the customer who is visiting, and ultimately the training which is required to each and every person in the store where customer is having an opportunity to interact. Because if you talk about the experience, ultimately experience counts each and every tangible, intangible, live or this alive things on which customer is coming across. So in conjunction with the facts, your business has a potential to be truly world class in liaison with your buying and merchandising, design operations, marketing, finance, store design, and the store itself, and the kind of the visual effects which you have created, that is ultimately going to help ensure the best-in-class standards in your business model. So for example, there are certain aspects of this visual merchandising as well as this window dressing. You can see this different kind of the hangers which are being used. There are the different kind of the mannequins which has been used. So what kind of the article it is, and what kind of display it would be required, what kind of the lighting effect would be required, that is all being given. This is another example. You can see a lot of this visual merchandising and window dressing examples. So let us come to this 6 basic elements which ultimately talks about that how we should design our visual merchandising strategy. So first is environment. Environment that talks about what do you like, the store you like, and what was basically the first attracted you through this door. So it means that once you are entering into the store, so what was the thing which attracted you first? And a key decision in the process of this looking both outside in and this environment, which is ultimately going to create a great deal about what you may expect, and therefore it is of this paramount importance. And looking at certain examples like structures and designs, materials, colors, lighting, fixtures, product, cash points, and fitting room positioning. These are the different elements which is ultimately going to design this what should be the store environment. And there are a lot of questions and many more to ask, and there are many multiple answers as different techniques which suits to different brands, aspirations, and accordingly that decisions which you are going to ultimately take. So visual merchandising ultimately that keep on changing based on this what kind of the product or what kind of the services, what kind of this merchandising you are going to offer in a different culture or different market. Coming to second point, and that is the window. And window, this every retailer on a planet understand the importance of this windows, but a vast amount of the retailers also make compromises when it comes to build and design window installations. The reason is because in retail, the effectiveness is being measured on the sales per square feet. So what should be the size of the window? How much of this need to be invested in it? And that is this big question. And that's why they normally compromise in terms of providing the space on the size of this window. And the reason is because whatever design, whatever the visual merchandising tactics, whatever the size of the window it is, ultimately it is going to give you only 4 seconds by your customers. So whatever the size, the techniques used, the schemes you have planned is still only 4 seconds to attract. Yes, I mean 4 seconds. So what should be the size? How many number of the windows? Whether they should be open or closed? What should be the lighting? What should be the material? How much available space should we use? When to change? 15 days, 7 days, every day, once in a month? And targeted operating cost, and by whom? These are a lot of these questions ultimately when it comes to design a visual window or window display and visual merchandising practice. And that all has cost, and that cost has to be managed by the sales which you have generated, the revenue which you have generated. So many questions and equally lots of these answers, as brand is again unique, but there are some common theories which can and should be employed. So with an in-house window design services and merchandising can offer you a complete package. Coming to this next point, and that is the customer journey. So how do you want the customer to behave in your store, and how do you want them to go, and what do you want them to do? It is all going to be decided by you. Let me repeat it again. How do you want the customer to behave in your store? Where do you want them to go, and how do you want them to do? Or what do you want them to do? To wander, to browse at will, in a journey of this discovery, see what and when, product adjacencies, add-on purchases, purchase points, pause points, cash points, be the fitting rooms, service areas, multi-floor flow. How do you ensure the customer sees the whole store and not in part of it? It means it must be giving a holistic experience to your customers, a seamless experience to customer. So it is your decision as a brand owner to make these decisions, and what you want the customer to do and what do you want them to do it. Ultimately, the goal of this overall creating the profit, but how many and how much in your store. And there are the best practices techniques around the world, some of which would you like will work for you as a visual merchandising, and that can help bring these to your attention. Visual merchandising, that is what are you selling and what are you selling to? Families, men, women's, teens, or aspirational, browsers, or know what I want type of the customers. So different techniques suits different target groups, but again the understanding of the some simple theories can make all the differences. By the gender, or by the type, or the color, the fabric, the price, seasonality, or the sales target, some of all the above, size curves, bestsellers, and the new positioning, how and where to accessories, adjacencies flows, anchor departments, mirrors, photographies, props, promotional materials, stock room, and many, many more. So visual merchandising can give advice and coaching on these needs best suited to your retail environment. And one more important aspect other than this window display is theater. So retail is detail. It is a very common proverb or phrase. But within the word visual merchandising, retail is also a theater. So retail is detail. It means whatever the detailing you are doing for the available merchandise, ultimately it is going to create a theater kind of this experience to your customers, and it is going to create a better experience for your customers. It will sensitize all these senses, and which will be favorable to convert that particular customer on that point of time during the visit of your store. So more than your bricks and mortar retail stores or the streets in general, competition and this leisure time with cinemas and the holidays, sports, you name it, there are the thousands of these customers can make before going shopping. Today, retail is also in competition with itself through the huge advances in mobile shopping via phones, tablets, internet, e-com. Or this, therefore, this retailer should not only have to give the customer what they want, when they want it as a price, and this they will willing to pay, but also have to be an exciting environment in order to complete. How? There are certain aspects which ultimately going to sensitize a positive impact or creating a positive impact in customers. That is the kind of the music in the store, what kind of this mannequins which has been used for display of this merchandise, what is the aroma, what is the lighting techniques, what is the interactive elements which ultimately buying the time of this customer so that he should spend more of the time into the store, and information and notice boards, coffee and snacks, a bar maybe, and overall guest appearances. The list is endless and all of the opportunities may not be for you. Then return on investments may not add up. But one thing for certain, nothing is standstill. It is either grow or it dies. Which one are you? Visual merchandising, we can design solutions to suit your aspirations and budgets. And one very basic aspect, that is the training of this manpower, which is interacting with your customers on shop floor, and that is key to anything and everything that happens, and the best element you will ever make. If your team are not qualified, do not understand the importance of all such kind of things, you are not going to take the mileage of your potential strategies. Our firm beliefs is that we must teach our each and every customer about this overall science behind the retail, and that is the crux of this overall impact which you are going to create among the customers, those who are visiting your stores. And the more of this team understand these elements, plus through this good grounding of the retail basics, hangers, tags, price, cubes, and many more things. There are a lot of things which you can talk about, but ultimately you have to ask all such kind of the questions and give a deep thought that what exactly is going to help you to enhance overall revenues, increasing your profits, achieving your business goals. So that is always customized. A lot of this creativity which is required, and there is this ongoing science and which will keep on changing over a period of time. Thank you.